Hello everyone, Ember here, and welcome back to a new video. In this one, I'm going to be taking a look at a Metagross budget deck from the set Journey Together. So chances are you might recognize this list, and that is because my own list was not performing very well, so I decided to do the very nefarious practice, and I basically pinched Trust Your Pilot's list, and I've started modifying it to my liking. So I might try my own list again in the future, but his list, a lot more consistent, and I wanted to modify it as well to fit my liking. So yeah, you might recognize a lot of the cards here, but basically, if you don't know what Metagross does, it's really cool budget deck from Journey Together. It's a very cool single price Pokemon. Has 2 attacks. Rack Down is utter garbage. You don't need to care about that. But Conjoined Beams is pretty good. So for 2 Psychic, you do 130 damage, and if Beldum and Metang are on your bench, then this attack does 150 more damage. So you basically just cap at 280, which is pretty cool. Very easy to set up. You just need a Metagross in the active, Metang on the bench, and a Beldum, which is basically what every normal Stage 2 deck wants to try and do anyway, so that's really handy. And you'll probably notice some comparisons to Vikavolt, which I'll just pull up here. So Vikavolt has the attack Circuit Cannon for 2 lightning, does 120 base, and then 80 more damage for each of your bench Charger Bug. So if you're familiar with the Vikavolt deck, then you'll feel right at home with this one. It's very, very similar. However, I will say that both decks have their own pros and cons. They're not just carbon copies of each other. Vikavolt, of course, can do a lot more damage than Metagross can. Vikavolt caps are 360 or something daft. So you can KO literally anything in the game with a Vikavolt, even the new Megas that are going to come out, which I find hilarious. But I would say the pros of Metagross are that you're not relying on things like Electric Generator to keep Vikavolts going, because you have access to Xatu, which is not only a great way of attaching energy, but it's also a great way of drawing cards while you're doing it. So it basically just allows you to attach a basic Psychic Energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. And if you attached energy in this way, you get to draw 2 cards, which is great. So one of the main changes that I made from Trust Your Pilot, not a bad change, but also just keeping this in a budget sense, I guess. Because I know Pheasantipede is free on TCG Live, but for IRL players, Pheasantipede can be quite expensive. So I wanted to try and experiment and see if I could win a bunch of games without Pheasantipede. So, you're only hurting yourself by not running it. But at the same time, if you just want to maintain a single prize board state, then no Pheasantipede, of course, can be done. I've decided to substitute it for Budew, because even though you do want to use TM Evolution with this deck to get the Metang set up and things, Budew can be a decent option just to stall for a little bit. 10 damage, no energy, item lock. Very simple, very straightforward. Also has free retreat, so what's really handy about that is it also just means that once your opponent has actually KO'd a Metagross, and you don't have the necessary energy on a benched Beldum, for example, you only have, 0 energy, then you could just promote Budew, use, Clairvoyant Sense on your benched Beldum or Metang or whatever it is, then manual attach, and then, swing again. So having a pivot in the deck has been really helpful. So that's one more case to run a Budew in your Metagross deck. But yeah, that's kind of it for Pokemon. As for the trainers, quite a fun lineup here. I would say probably the most interesting standouts really are Precious Trolley. Search your deck for any number of basic Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Just great in this deck. We run 19 Pokemon, but we really do want as many Beldums out as possible at all times. So that's kind of important. And one thing you may notice is there is actually no Night Stretcher, which is something I've definitely thought about trying to add back into this list. Might try it out, but space is tight, so trying to cut cards for things can get difficult. But one thing I will say is that, Tulip has been a great substitute. Put up to 4 in any combination of Psychic Pokemon and basic Psychic Energy cards from your discard pile into your hand. So it just means that once Metagross gets KO'd, you can basically just retrieve a Beldum, a Metang, a Metagross, and a basic Psychic Energy, which of course, or you could just, retrieve a Beldum and a Metagross if you've had to use Rare Candy, as well as 2 Psychic Energy, and then use Xatu to attach them. So that's a really cool point to make. I've also just seen a massive error with this list, very unprofessional, but yeah, I'm still running the nest ball that Trust Your Pilot was. Yeah, that's not necessary at all. So I'll remove that and make way for the 4th Poffin. So yeah, the reason why that was the way it was is because he just wanted a way to be able to Arven Finesse Ball for Pheasantipede, which makes sense, but because I'm not running any Pokemon with more than 70 HP as basics, it does mean I can get away with running the full 4 Poffin. So I would still run 4 Poffin even if I was running Precious Trolley, because again, you just want maximum consistency in the early game. This deck lives and dies really in the first few turns. So like you have to make sure you give it your best effort. So yeah, that's kind of a list in a nutshell. Really nothing too crazy. I guess Kieran's interesting, plus 30 damage, which takes up to 310, which yeah, I guess that's okay. I mean, what is it? Black Belt's training does plus 40, so that would take you to 320. I mean, you're still not carrying Charizard, which is a bit of a big oof for this deck. You know, like you would have to get things like Defiance Band involved. And fair enough, like this deck runs for Arven, so you could make room for a Defiance Band, but it's just a case of, yeah, again, what are you going to cut for the deck? I mean, with Vikavolt lists, most of the time I was just running Vikavolt and nothing else. So there was room for other things, but in this list, you kind of have to run a 3-3 line of Xatu, I feel like. So yeah, that's another pro to Vikavolt, and 1 point, yeah, 1 point to Vikavolt, 0 to Metagross, because yeah, Vikavolt had way more deck space than this did, but I still think this one's more consistent overall than Vikavolt. It's just Vikavolt has a higher damage cap, really, so we'll have to do another Vikavolt deck, by the way, at some point in the future. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, as for basic energy, we just play 7 Psychic and then 1 copy Reversal. So this is where you could change up your ace spec if you feel like Precious Trolley is just overkill with all the Bull Search. You could play things like Neo Upper. I wouldn't bother with Legacy Energy, by the way, but Neo Upper Energy is pretty cool. It just provides 2 energy. So it takes a little bit of pressure off setting up a Xatu, which might be more appealing to you. At that point, I would definitely say just like go all in at that point and run maybe more stadiums, as well as some Colress's Tenacity, which allows you to search your deck for an energy card and a stadium. So you would be able to actually, you know, track down near up energy and stuff. But other than that, Maximum Belt maybe is a good ace spec, or like Secret Box. So, you know, you got plenty of choices, really. You're not like shoehorned into just playing the single ace spec that's best for the deck. But yeah, that's kind of it to say about Metagross. It's a really fun deck, and I highly recommend it if you're just looking for something fun and casual to play from the new set. But yeah, it's been Iono PAR. Let me know what you think about this list down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, so not gonna lie, this isn't exactly the greatest start for this deck, but yeah, a Poffin here would have been lovely. But yeah, that's gonna have to do it for this term. Hopefully we don't get donked, which is, yeah, it feels kind of likely. Although this Taurus is a fighting type, so at least we have some potential to survive. This one, I think, yeah, they just need to like hit us with something or other, and then they can KO us. Oh, okay, they can just do that. Okay, fair enough. So energy switch, I'm guessing. Energy switch. Nope, just a pass. Okay, thank goodness. So we stay alive for one more turn. Cool. Natu, great, and may as well Rare Candy here. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna Arven for a Poffin. Just try and get the squad going. So yeah, we want a, well, Precious Trolley actually makes more sense, I think. Get this. Why can I not choose Precious Trolley? Why can I not choose Precious Trolley? It's an ace. Oh, for goodness sake. Why are you doing this to me, you silly game? Really? Oh, whatever. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Right, Buddy Poffin. That's really annoying, actually. Right, Buddy Poffin. Double Beldum. We'll need these down. I could TM Evo here. Or, actually, you know what? I think we're just going to do this. I'm going to Rare Candy the active, and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to try and get ahead in the prize race. So put an energy on here. And then, yeah, conjoined beams for damage. Okay, why did that do 260? Wait, have I misread Metagross? I don't feel like that should have done 260 damage. Let me read the card again. Budew. Hello, Budew. 130. If Beldum and Metang are on your bench, this attack does 150 more damage. So why did that do 260? Oh, he's weakness. Oh, of course. I keep thinking Taurus is is like Colas, but no, of course, it's Paldean Taurus. He's weakness. Alright, never mind. Okay, so this can probably one-hit kill me, right? Okay, not yet. Fair enough. Alright, I'm not sure what my opponent is playing, but we'll trust them to do the cooking. Giovanni's Charisma, kind of annoying, I guess. It's not going to disrupt me enough, though. Okay, this has been a very sad game. Like, I'm probably going to have to... Oh, look, there you are. Let's see if this breaks the game, actually. Precious Trolley. Let's do a science experiment. Precious Trolley. Get me Beldum and me Natu out. Got him down. Got him down. Yep, okay, game didn't crash. So why couldn't I Arven for that earlier? I hate this game. Right, okay, 1 energy here. I don't have to Iono them, so I'm not going to. I will Iono next turn, though. So this won't be a 1-hit KO, actually. That's worth bearing in mind. So I'm assuming they're playing the new Tyranitar, the one that item locks. Although, to be fair, it might just be Tyranitar EX, like the fighting type one. So we could have actually been donked by this, by the way, with like Sada and stuff, but we got lucky. Okay, smart move by my opponent. And yeah, this feels a bit mean if I do that. Earthen Vessel, discard TM Evolution. Just get some more energy in the hand, really. You can check the deck very quickly, but I don't think there's much of a point. Get 2 energy in hand, and then we can just, yeah, set up quite nicely. So even though we didn't get, like, the Poffin Star, we've still done okay, I feel like. Like, in a normal game, you'd probably just have to TM Evolution here, but... I will boss... And I'll boss this guy, just because it's, like, the biggest threat on the board. But realistically, I mean, Tyranitar EX is very much a threat, but... And then Conjoined Beams. Beam away. Goodbye. It's nice knowing you. 1 prize card. Hopefully it's like a Xatu or something, actually. A Xatu would be nice. Nope, just another energy. Never hurts to have more energy, though. Means we can now manually attach 1 here, and then, like, save 1 for Xatu, I guess. But we are very much leading this game, so... fair dues, but I do 1-hit KO this. So, yeah. I do 130 damage. This feels a bit mean at this point. This does feel a wee bit mean. Put energy there. Well, if this player is, like, struggling for a new deck idea, maybe this one's not servicing them very well, then maybe they might want to try this out as a budget deck. Maybe. What have we got here? Ultra Ball. I guess I could Metang, but I think 130 damage all game is, yeah, it's been acceptable. Okay, so we've got an Okie Dokie go down. Fair enough. So there's Xatu. And I will just use... So I may as well, like, showcase how the deck sets up properly, I guess. Take this opportunity before I get steamrolled by Dragapult or something. Xatu and energy on here. What just happened there? Did anyone else see that? Like, the huge energy flash? Oh, that was weird. But yeah, basically, that's kind of like the double-edged sword with trying to record budget rogue decks, is like... Yeah, like, sometimes you get paired up against fellow rogue budget decks, or whatever this is. And then, like, on the opposite end of the scale, you get paired up against things like Dragapult, and it's like, yeah. Because if you can't beat those decks, then all of a sudden it feels a bit rubbish. Well, not rubbish, but, like, you know, people want to see victories with these decks, but, you know, if you just show victories versus these sorts of decks, then obviously it's not a great representation, but... Yeah, so far this has been, like, at least a decent representation of how this deck would set up in a game, so I'm not too mad about that. I can also see myself playing way more of Metagross in the future. Like, it seems like a lot of fun. Another Xatu, it's great. So really, all we had to do there was Rare Candy, evolve one of them, and yeah, just get one on the bench, and we're already doing 280. Yeah, it's a bit of a sad end to this. Conjoin beams. 560 damage. Yeah, I think that's enough. I think that's enough to KO them. So what was the second last prize card, though? Last reveal of the video. It was a Metang. Okay, that could have been important. I guess, yeah. Prizing Metangs would be very annoying with this deck.